How many of you are new to Raja Yoga? A lot. How many are old to Raja Yoga? How many study it regularly? Okay, so that side of the room is heavy with study. Good, good. Well, this is going to be fun then. If these teachings are new to you, all I can say is when I first heard them, they opened up a whole new world of meaning, understanding, clarity, and purpose for me. They come from ancient times, but their message reverberates through the ages with relevance and importance that is outstanding and astounding. Just to give you an idea, the qualities that I have come to love most about the Yoga Sutras are its clarity and compassion, its accessibility and inclusivity, its universality, and its generosity of spirit. Does that sound like things that are important in today's modern culture? What strikes me in the person of Patanjali, who is credited with compiling these teachings from ancient times, is that you have this crystal clear intellect, and at the same time, the tender heart of a mother that clearly understands the aspirations and limitations of the human condition. He presents the philosophy and psychology of yoga. Imagine if you were asked to write a philosophy and psychology of yoga, how big do you think that book would be? He did it in fewer than 200 semi-sentences, which are known as sutras. Sutras are what in English we would call aphorisms, pithy statements packed with meaning. Sometimes not even complete sentences. And through the ages, different sages, scholars, saints, philosophers have given commentaries on those sutras and unpacked them for the likes of us so we could understand and apply them in our lives. He addresses the big questions that have intrigued humanity through the ages. Who am I? What is the purpose of life? Where are we going? Why is there suffering? What happens after death? How can I keep my relationships with people harmonious? Is there a way of knowing that transcends the limitations of the senses and mind? Is there a way to experience a greater wisdom and peace? How can I attain true fulfillment and happiness in life? Have you ever asked yourself any of those questions? Well, he nails them, every single one, in a few words. And what's interesting to me, too, is whenever he presents something that's difficult to do, like controlling your mind. Anyone ever try to control their mind? Is it easy? No. Whenever he asks you anything difficult to do, like controlling your mind or practicing and perfecting a virtue like nonviolence or non-stealing, knowing that we would probably get overwhelmed and give up before we even begin, immediately, without hesitation, he gives a simple template or a simple technique that we can apply that will make it accessible. He takes something that seems unfathomable and makes it doable. Instead of feeling discouraged or unworthy or incapable of doing or attaining what he presents, you emerge feeling empowered and motivated. Sound good? Okay. Here's a little tidbit that gives you a sense of how the teachings reach down and lift us up. Okay? Once a man was walking down the road, and all of a sudden he fell into a pit. So there he is in the pit. After some time, finally, someone comes passing by, and the man calls out, "Help me, help me, I'm in the pit." This person happens to be a doctor. He feels compassion. Immediately, he writes a prescription and drops it in the pit and continues on his way. The fellow's still in the pit. After a little while, another fellow comes by, and the man calls out with more urgency, "Help me, I'm in the pit." This fellow happens to be a lawyer, and he says, "I think I can help you, but I need a retainer first." And the man says, "What are you talking about? I'm in the pit. I can't give you a retainer." And the lawyer says, "Sorry, that's my policy," and he walks on by. Sound like life to you? A third person comes by, a minister. And the man with desperation now calls out, "Sir, please help me, I'm in the pit." And the minister says, "Oh, my child, this is a terrible situation." He immediately sits down, kneels, and says a prayer. And then he walks on by. And there's the guy. He's still in the pit. Each of us has our own pit or pits in our life, correct? So finally another fellow comes by. This time with desperation, the man calls out, "Sir, please help me. I'm in the pit." And without any hesitation, this fellow jumps right into the pit with him. And to his surprise and dismay, the man looks at him and says, "What are you doing here? What have you accomplished? Now there are two of us stuck in the pit." And this fellow, who happens to be Sri Patanjali, says, "Yes, but the difference is I have been here before, and I know the way out. Take my hand, and I will lead you step by step by step. Some philosophies are totally theoretical. Some are intricately analytical and logical. The thing that's so compelling about the Yoga Sutras is that its immediacy, its specificity, and the way he leads you step by step from the physical to the mental, emotional, intellectual, social, and spiritual levels, addresses every aspect of the individual and ultimately takes us to the ultimate spiritual realization. Sound good? So, are you ready to take his hand and go? Shall we go? Good.